Hi guys, welcome to the off-season show of Rate the Transfer Rumour, and a lot of people would have seen these last year, wouldn't they, Daz? To be fair,
Yeah, yeah.
this is the video that rates the transfer rumour. Basically, it's as simple as that, Daz, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. I have no idea any of these players that Keith's going to throw at me. No idea.
I think that's the bit I love the most about this actually as well, that you don't know which ones I've written down or having a list or whatever and stuff like that. So basically, I'm going to name the player and then the club that he's rumored to be going to, and Daz is going to give a rating between 1 and 10. Obviously, 1 being highly unlikely and 10 being extremely likely. So we'll dive into it, Daz, and we'll start off with a fella called Patrick Hoban. People may have heard of him, the top scorer in the league. For many years, he's been top scorer in the league. Not this season, but I mean, for many years, he's been. What I mean by that is actually, I don't think anyone currently playing has scored as many goals as he has. And obviously,
Yeah.
the highest score for Dundalk in the history of their club. I don't think he'll ever be beaten. A lot of controversy with him leaving the club, of course. He will be leaving the club, that's for sure. But this is a left field one. A lot of people might expect Shamrock Rovers, maybe St. Patrick's Athletic, Derry City for sure. But Patrick Hooper made it to his hometown club as such, his county club anyway, Galway United.
Oh, way.
That one.
Oh, wow. If Galway could pull that off, it'd be a real coup, wouldn't it? And if he got a few goals from him and kept him up, he'd be a hero there.
Mm.
Um, I would certainly not write it off anyway. It is his hometown club.
Mm.
Um, he's not he's not like retirement age yet, so
32.
I
32, but
he,
it's the way he plays, isn't it? He never was a player that relied on pace. He's a clever player. We all know that, and he's a big game player.
and Galway, I'm not sure if anyone, obviously people watch Galway, but Galway have been very direct this year. You know, a typical kind of Ollie Horgan, John Caulfield's team, they're direct, get the ball up to forward into the big man. That's how they play, and I think that would really suit Ruben. It would really suit him. But I just feel that he's going to want European football for one more season, one or two more seasons, and I think, you have the likes of say Shelburne, who probably will would I'd imagine would be in for him. I don't think he'd go to Rovers. Derry possibly could be another place for him, but will he want to
You're looking
relocate?
for a striker for sure.
Yeah, so I would put it at a 5. I think there's definitely interest there, and I think from Ruben's side, I think he'd definitely not rule them out anyway. I think he'd
Mm.
certainly listen to them. Maybe not this season, but I'd put it as a 5. I definitely think there's something there. I don't think it's unlikely to happen either, but I certainly think he's going to be talking to the European clubs first, then maybe Bose next, probably not, and and then he'll go to Galway. But yeah, I'd put it as a 5 out of 5. But what a sign that'd be for Galway. Also,
Yeah.
it's a terrible shame how he has left been treated by the club, and it's terrible upsetting for the fans how he's left the club legend. So yeah, I feel bad for them. But yeah, 5 out of 10 for me.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting one for sure. The next one up is a player called Jack Keeney at UCD. He's played as a centre back recently, as in the last season or so. Known as a midfielder, decent from set pieces. Hasn't really taken too many of them actually this season for UCD, but a real leader in that UCD team, a team that is obviously extremely young and struggled this season, but linked with a move back to his former club, Sligo Rovers. Now, Sligo Rovers, of course, have been, if you like, letting a lot of players go, and they look like they're trying to get players within the league, which is the right thing to do, in my opinion. They've already signed John J.R. Wilson from Shelburne, so this could be another one for Sligo, and you can kind of see the type of players maybe they're looking at. But Jack Keeney to Sligo Rovers.
Yeah, I suppose the only thing with that is he'd certainly be relocating out of Dublin, and Dublin has
Mm.
4 or 5 teams. He could potentially go to really. I'm not talking about Shamrock Rovers, but but that would be certainly a good sign for Sligo, I think, and it is a type of player and level that they would be looking at. And look, what a disaster Sligo have had of a season, loaning a goalie out, selling their top scorer season after season. Like they need to stop doing that. But J.R. Wilson, good solid sign for them. You know, what they're going to get with him, and same with Heaney. A good player for UCD. I think he would do a job with Sligo. I'm not saying he'd start every week, but he'd certainly fit into their team. And
I think he
I put,
would personally. I
I,
actually think
yeah,
he would. I think he would, to be honest. But
I
that's
think
just
I
a
think
personal opinion.
Sligo could rely on set pieces this season. They could be trying to be dangerous with set pieces. They need to try, I think, and approach the game differently. But I put it as a seven. I think it's quite likely to happen. I'd like to see him on balls, I'm not going to lie. I think Shelburne might not go in for him considering they've already signed Gannon and Wardy already in the window. I don't think they're going to go in for a player that way in the team. They're going to want to replace other players from the team. So that kind of leaves it open in for Sligo. So I would put it quite likely, and I think he'd be a great sign for Sligo. 7 out of 10.
7 out of 10 for you there. Interesting stuff. The next one is Aron Buer to Shelburne, and we're doing this video today when there's been a raft of re-signings announced to Shelburne, like Matty Smith and Paddy Barrett. I'm sure their fans will be happy with that. And sign-ins, as in Keith Ward has joined Shelburne and Sean Gannon, probably to give them more experience in that. But Aron Buer, one of the better players I think for Cork season or Cork City this season in midfield. He's a bit of a terrier. He's a battler. He can get around the pitch. Sounds like a typical Shelburne's type midfielder to people watching. Probably he might know much of him. Where do you
I
see that?
think, yeah, I actually think he ticks a lot of the boxes for the profile of player that Shelburne
Yeah,
wants, and not even for Shelburne, for what Duffer would want in his
yeah,
team of how they play. I think he's a lot of traits and qualities in the player that Duffer kind of wants,
yeah.
and Duffer's already brought in two very experienced players. So I don't see Shelburne going into the market looking for more experienced players. I think they're going to want
Yeah.
mid-age players who've been in the league and who you know what you're going to get with them, and I think. Aaron is one of those players. I think he was, like you said, one of the better players that went down. He's someone who certainly can get about the pitch and do a bit of everything, I think, which I think is what Sheldon would probably want. So,
Mm.
just that'd be a
Works
great.
hard off the ball. Duff likes that from a midfielder, doesn't he? He
Yeah,
works socks off the
yeah,
ball.
just that'd be a great sign for Sheldon if they got that. Look, I could see him still. I could see other teams sniffing in around him. But European football, a chance to play under Damien Duff, a chance to play with a serial winner of Sean Gannon. Like, why would you not want to go there if they're coming in for you? So, yeah, again, I'd put this one highly likely. I'd put it as an eight, maybe. I think it ticks every box. I just don't see why it wouldn't happen. 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10. You're going high with that one. The next one is relation to Bohemians. Ryan Flood, Finn Harps, left winger. Interesting because they signed Dale Rooney, but I'll get onto that maybe in a minute. But yeah, left winger scored 12 goals in the first division, granted with Finn Harps this season. American, 25-year-old. Bows have a lot of wingers as it is, and they're adding Dale Rooney to their ranks as well. Um, how do you see that one? They've already got Grant. They've got. I know Twardick's going to be leaving the club, to be fair, but they've got McDade. They have Connolly, as you know. Cooch will probably leave the club. So Ryan Flood.
Yeah, we also have who's on Cork that was there on loan. I think he still has a year left to go on his contract. I could be
Ethan
wrong.
Berrien.
Oh yes, I could be wrong on that, but I think he might have time left his contract. I don't know. I think I'm wrong on that, but if say he is, you have them, and you've got the younger players who've been pushing, knocking on the door to try and get in the team too. There's an awful lot of wingers at the club. It's an area we're flooded in for players, but
Flooded
not
in,
great
eh?
quality. But we don't have quality, in my opinion, in them areas. That's the issue. Dylan Connolly's another one that we have as well. So quite a lot of players. Looking at Division One with a Finn Harps player, Finn Harps team that look quite bad, very bad team, probably one of the worst teams throughout the two divisions where they should have been.
Devil's advocate, though, you could say 12 goals in a team that struggled.
So you have to look at it like that too. 12 goals in a team that's struggling, and the Finn Harps team that really struggled. Um, I just don't see it too likely to happen. Like Gail Rooney looks to be a nail on signing at the minute. There's an awful lot of reports going around on Twitter and all that he's coming to the club. So are we potentially bringing two wingers in? I'd love to see it. I certainly would take him to the club. I'm not disputing that whatsoever. But I don't know. I'm gonna put a 5 out of 10. I just don't see it too likely to happen. I'd be hoping Bowles would look for through no disrespect to him or Finn Harps, someone maybe a bit of a better player. But then again, not to go off on a tangent, who are we to demand players? I think they finished sixth in the league with no European football. I can't be going out demanding players. So
Mm.
we're not looking in that market. So we have to think outside the box, I think, a little bit too. So that's why we can't really rule out these players. So a 5 out of 10, I'd certainly welcome them to the club. Absolutely. But a 5 out of 10, I just don't see it too high, but I certainly wouldn't rule it out.
Yeah, here's one, and obviously Alan Manis has retired from Shamrock Rovers and potentially are looking for a goalkeeper. Nathan Shepherd at Dundalk, I believe, is out of contract. We all know the problems on at Dundalk, but Nathan Shepherd to Shamrock Rovers, potentially.
No, I don't see any chance in that. I'd put that as a 3 out of 10. The reason why I'm shutting that down straight away is they've already brought in Lee Stacey. They're
Mm.
going to promote Folds, I think, till the summer anyway, to number one. I
Mm.
don't see why they spend a grand a week potentially on wages and a third goalkeeper. It's not something Rovers have ever done, and they could spend that money better in other positions. Um, like, disrespect to Foles, I think they should have went in for Shepherd earlier and got him as their number one and put Foles back to number two, maybe. But I don't see this happening at all. I think Rovers fans would love to see it happen, but then again, you've got three goalkeepers in the Premier Division. It's unlikely that never really happens in our league. Um, who knows what state he's on? I don't know. I would imagine it's high enough if he's been brought to Rovers as number two. But
I suggest he's on a higher wage than he's probably ever been on in the League of
yeah,
Ireland.
so I don't blame him for going. Why wouldn't you
No,
go to
absolutely
Rovers?
not. Jesus.
A team that's
He's a
in.
Shamrock Rovers fan as well, isn't he? I think he might
Yeah,
be.
like look, why would you
Yeah.
not go there and sit on the bench if you're going to sit on the bench? Why would you not? I don't see it likely, key. I put it as a 3 out of 10. I think other teams might come in for Shepherd. He might even go back to England or he might go to Scotland. Who knows? But no, I don't see it happening. 3 out of 10.
Fair enough. And finally, it's another goalkeeper, and it's a former goalkeeper, Ed McGinty, being linked with a move back to his former club, Sligo Rovers. Not quite working out for him at Oxford, seemingly. Very, very good goalkeeper in this league when he was here with Sligo. And, you know, Sligo might want some of those players. They've John Mahon, obviously, back at the club. They brought him back as well, and they might want some of
Yeah,
the old band back, as they say. Yeah, but
yeah,
Ed McGinty was definitely a top goalkeeper in this league, and if Sligo could pull that one off, be great
yeah.
signing, I
And
think.
don't own him back to a team in England. But wow, Ed McGinty, I think they might have to pay a fee for him. I could be wrong in that,
They
but
would. He's in contract, yeah.
yeah. So I think this transfer kind of really determines how much Sligo are going to willing to pay for him.
And how much Oxford would be willing to accept, so to speak, yeah.
Like there is a chance. I don't know his situation at Oxford, and then if he's unhappy at the club and they want to get rid of him, and we're currently in a window, so we can
Mm.
buy players and he can move, but the English clubs can't really till January. So they could get him out, get him off the club. He'd be happy, wage freed it up. If you look at all that outside of Sligo signing him, but I certainly would put something in this. I think Sligo in for a goalkeeper. I think if they got money to spend and the transfer fee is sensible, I think it'd be a great addition to the team. Something that I'm kind of surprised maybe the likes of, I don't know, or others might not have done.
Yeah,
You've
I would.
been
I personally, I would be going
like,
for him ahead of
yeah,
Shepherd if that was the case.
yeah, because he's
Or
a
if
top
Pats, if Dean Linus, for
pass.
example, wasn't going
Oh,
to be signed up. You know what I mean?
yeah,
If he was going back to the UK, which he might be, I'd be going for McGinty, for example, as well. Derry are fine. We've got Brian Maher.
yeah. I
Shelburne had
suppose,
Cairns who did well
yeah,
last year, so yeah.
I suppose in terms of rating this transfer room, I would put it at um a 7. I think it's quite likely to happen. I think if Sligo are going to spend money, they're going to spend it on him. I don't see them going out and trying to bring in players that are too unknown to the league. I don't think they've got the financial muscle to do that anymore. I think they need to be more sensible with transfers. Look, a lot of the foreign transfers they've done in the past, I think have been good. Like they haven't really been shafted too badly. But if they're going to spend money, it's going to be on the player that they know. And I think if he's going to come back to any club, he might come back to Sligo. And like I think he'd do well for them. He'd be well liked by the fans. The fans would love that transfer coming back in. It'd be a lift to the club.
It
Like
actually
you
would
said,
be a lift to the club as well, and I think that's where they might win some brownie points.
yeah. So I could put it as a 7 out of 10. I certainly hope it happens for Sligo fans out there. It'd be great for the club and all. So I put it as a 7 out of 10. The only thing that is iffy is the transfer fee. Do they have money to spend? How much do Oxford want? Can Sligo pull it off? Or will someone come in and hijack that transfer potentially here? So 7 out of 10 for me in that one.
Brilliant, ads. We'll leave it there. Brilliant stuff. Guys at home, let us know what you think of these transfer rumours. Maybe you can give us a rating as well. Any other transfer rumours that you've heard, maybe you could let us know as well. Thanks very much for watching. Subscribe to the channel, hit your bell notification button, and we'll see you soon. Cheers, lads.
Here's key.